We don't always carry around a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. And I bet you've been in situations where you've thought, if I only had a camera, right? But one camera that most of us carry around all the time is this camera. And in recent years, this camera has gotten better and better. But have we come to the point where this camera has gotten so good that this camera has become unnecessary? My main phone for the last 1.5 years, or almost 2 years now, has been this phone. This is the Samsung Galaxy S10e. When the S10 lineup was released, the Samsung Galaxy S10e was the smallest of that lineup. And the Samsung Galaxy S10e has been a good phone, except for one thing, and that is battery. The battery life of the Samsung Galaxy S10e is just plain awful. So basically, I just got tired of having a phone that didn't have a good battery. And we all know that
Tim Apple
has released a brand new set of iPhones, the iPhone 12. You have the iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And out of the 4 iPhone 12s, what iPhone should I get? I ended up with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And even though this battery only is 3,687 milliamp hours, the battery on this phone is actually great, at least when I compare it to this, the Samsung Galaxy S10e. And that's probably one of the main things. It didn't take much to impress me when it comes to battery life. I've been using this phone for about a week now, and I've been getting 1.5 to 2 days out of this battery. So for me, the battery life on this phone, it's great. When it comes to the size of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I did see a lot of videos where people thought, oh my god, this is a really big phone. And coming from a small phone like the Samsung Galaxy S10e to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, I was anticipating that I too would have that reaction of, oh my god, this is a big phone. But the transition from a small phone to the big iPhone 12 Pro Max actually went quite well. I didn't have that reaction. I didn't think that this is a really big phone. I thought, of course, it is a big phone, but it's not that much bigger. If you are considering buying a iPhone 12 Pro Max and you're hesitating because it's a big phone, for me, it's not been a big problem. And I have quite regular sized hands, and yeah, it's not a one-handed phone. You can't reach all over the screen with just one hand, but it took me, I don't know, 2 hours to get used to the size of the phone and getting new ways to just handling the phone. So the size of the phone should not be one of the things that makes you not choose the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Except for battery and the bigger screen, another thing that made me choose the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the new camera lineup and the bigger sensor that's in the 12 Pro Max that's not in the 12 Pro or the other phones. It also has a wider aperture than the other phones, so you get a slightly better blurry background when you take your photos. That is a natural blurry background because the phone is capable of artificially making the background blurry, but as a natural blurry background, this phone has better or slightly better capabilities of that than the other phones. Then you have the telephoto camera, which is 2.5 times instead of only 2.
I wanted to compare photos taken with the iPhone 12 Pro Max with photos taken on the M6 Mark II, but one problem I now have is the problem with the telephoto camera. Now the phone is at the normal lens. I put my finger on top of that lens. I want to take a photo of this leaf right here, and as you can see, I now try and switch over to the telephoto lens, and my finger is still covering the main lens. The camera switches between, you see that? Now it's the telephoto, now it's switched back to the main camera. I want to take a photo of that leaf, but the phone won't let me do that. I'm still having my finger on top of the regular lens. Now it's back on telephoto. No, there is switched. So now I'm not able to take that photo. There's no. But if I switch back, if I don't put my finger on top of that, and I have my 2.5, you see, now this is not good, Apple, not good at all. So this photo I just took right here, that's not taken with the telephoto lens, even though I had it on that lens. This photo is taken with the normal lens, just digital zoomed in, and that's not good enough.
All those three things, included with the bigger battery and bigger screen, made me choose the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
And sometimes the IP rating is great to have.
Being able to film in high dynamic range, it's really great because you get high dynamic range in your footage, and the quality of that footage looks great. Another thing that's coming to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I think this only applies to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, is being able to shoot RAW files when taking photos. Like I said in the intro, you're not always carrying around a DSLR or a mirrorless camera that has that capability of shooting RAW files. So if that comes to the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you always have a almost professional camera in your pocket that you can just take out and shoot those special occasions when you need to. After using the iPhone for a week now, I've been taking some photos and I've been taking some videos with the camera. And there is one thing that I've been let down by this camera, and that is you get a lot of flaring when you're filming in low light situations. As you can see in this footage, you have these dots of flaring in the image, and for me this gives away that this is a phone and not a professional camera. Yeah, you get flaring in a professional camera too, or that all depends on the lenses that you use, but this flaring right here, it's quite unique and specific. So if I'm watching content and I see this specific kind of flaring, I know that this probably comes from the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I also want to talk about the native camera app that's in the iPhone 12 and that you can't change between different regions. In the native camera app, you can shoot in Full HD or 4K, but you can only choose between 24, 30, 60 when it comes to the frame rate.
So this is normally not running that much water. It's been raining a lot lately, so I think that's why it's flooding over. But this is a good opportunity to test out the slow motion function of the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Me, as I live here in Europe or here in Norway, for me it would have been perfect if I could change over to the PAL region so I could shoot in 25 or 50 or 100 frames per second. As you can see here, this was shot in 60 frames per second because I wanted to shoot in 24, 30 and 60 frames per second because that was what I had to choose from when I shot on the iPhone. When I used extra light when I shot the B-roll footage of my iPhone, you can see the flickering in the background. And if I had shot this with frame rates from the PAL region, like 25, 50 or 100 frames per second, this flickering would not be there. So maybe if someone from Apple, not likely, but if someone from Apple watches this, please give the native camera app an option to change between PAL and NTSC so we don't have to think about this problem anymore. There is a solution to the problem though, and that is if you buy and download a more professional camera app like Filmic Pro. Here I can set the frame rate as I want, but it would have been nice to have this in the native camera app so you don't have to pay extra money to be able to do this.
But there's not just the cameras on the back of the phone, you also have the front-facing camera. So we have to do a vlog test on this camera. And by the looks of it from the screen, it looks okay. And on the go, for somebody to just pick up their phone and film stuff, and by what I can see on the screen right now, this works great.
I'm really happy with my new iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's great when it comes to battery. The cameras, they are phone cameras. They can't compete with my EOS R or my Canon M6 Mark II when it comes to the quality of the photos. Am I going to stay with Apple forever? I don't know, maybe, maybe not. Who knows what's in the future when it comes to camera technology and phone technology. But for now, I'm going with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and the Apple ecosystem makes everything really smooth, airdropping stuff from the phone to my MacBook Pro, and being able to use my phone as a remote for the Apple TV. And yeah, the ecosystem is a really good business idea from Apple. Anyway, not a camera per se video this week, but I still hope you got something out of this video. I didn't do my regular YouTube stuff today, so I'll do it now. Most of you have probably turned off this video anyway. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me and my channel, please hit the subscribe button and click that notification bell. And yeah, maybe I will see you in another video. Bye.